everyone, welcome to our mini sketchbook project. In the teaser video I neglected to request that you bring a ruler. You don't have to, but it's going to make your project a lot better. So if you have a ruler, go and grab it. You're going to need a stapler. I have a giant one. Smaller one's going to work better, and I know you have smaller ones in your art pack. Either a glue stick or some Elmer's glue, scissors, and you want a couple of sheets of loose leaf paper or copy paper, just plain white. You can use colors down the road, but we're just going to use plain white paper today. And some scrap cardboard, like from a cereal box, or some old discarded playing cards work really well. Those are going to be for our covers. We're going to use masking tape. I found this cool light bulb box that I'm going to use for my cover. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to find a piece of cardboard and cut it into about a 2 or 2.5 inch by 4 inch wide covers. So I think this is probably pretty close. A light bulb box is just about right. Yeah, that's 2 inches by 2.5 inches by 4 inches, so that's good. So I'm going to switch my camera here to show you what to do. This is a very easy project once you know how to do it. I always say that, don't I? All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut out our scrap cardboard, and ideally it will be about 4 inches wide and about 2.5 or 3 inches high. It doesn't really matter what size it is. What matters is what my computer's making funny noises. What matters is the size of the paper that's going to go inside. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this light bulb box. All right. I think I'm going to use the one with the light bulb on it because this is an interesting looking design. Okay, I'm going to just cut this out, and then I'm going to check to see what size it is. There's my ruler. So it's about 4 inches by about 2.25 inches. Okay, so we're going to use the cover to measure the paper for the inside. And usually what I do is I take a piece of copy paper and I fold it in quarters. Okay. Now I'm going to cut out the pages for my book. This is important. You want the pages to be slightly smaller than your cover. So I'm going to find myself a pen or a pencil and I'm going to make myself a template. A template is something that you measure with. Okay? Now I know that my pages have to be smaller than this to fit in my book, so I'm going to cut this out and I'm going to check. Okay? Okay. If it covers it, it might be a little bit too big. But if it doesn't stick out, it's about right. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to use this template to cut out more pages. Alright, I'm going to cut those little folds off. I usually like to have 10 to 12 pages in my book, so let's count these and see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we're going to fold these in half. So what's 2 times 6? It's 12, right? That's going to give me 10 pages in my book, not 12, and you'll see why in a moment. Okay, so we're going to fold those in half as neatly as you can. All right, take your stapler, open it back up, and see that little crease right there? Take your stapler and make sure that it's right on the crease, and we're going to put 2 staples right in that crease. So there's 1. Okay, see it? It's really important that it gets right in the middle. That's really important. So take your time and make sure it's lined up and staple it. So now you almost have a book already. So we're going to set that aside. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our cardboard cover and we're going to really carefully fold that in half. Okay. And then we're going to cut it in half. So this is going to be the cover to our book. Now, whichever cover, if you want the design of the cardboard to show, you have to think about what's going to go on the outside. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of masking tape. All right, pull off a piece that's longer than those 2 pieces of cardboard. And this is a little bit tricky. We're going to lay down this piece of masking tape as smoothly as we can. And then we're going to lay on our covers leaving a little bit of space in between the 2. Okay? So it kind of looks like a square butterfly. Then you're going to fold the extra tabs of tape up like this. If it's a little bumpy, it doesn't really matter that much. Okay? And then make sure it can bend. So already it looks like a book cover, right? Okay. So now you're going to take your glue, and like I said, if you have a glue stick, it works a little better. Put a little circle of glue on each of the inside covers. All right. Take your stapled pages, put them inside with the staple part facing that little extra tape in the middle. That's the binding of your book. And you're going to close it and squeeze it for like 10 seconds. 1 locomotive, 2 locomotive, 3 locomotive, 4 locomotive, 5 locomotive, 6 locomotive, 7 locomotive, 8 locomotive, 9 locomotive, 10. And now you have your book. So how come we folded 6 pages, okay? 2 times 6 is 12. How come we only get 10 pages out of that? You know why? Because what holds the book together is the very first pages that you glued onto the cover. So you lose 2 pages that way. So this book has 10 pages in it. So however many pages you put in, you're going to fold your long piece of paper, and you kind of have to think about it. You don't want to make it too thick, otherwise the book will never close. Sometimes, like this one's a little bit messy and maybe the pages are sticking out, you can trim it a little bit. You can also trim the edges. And you can glue on decorations. You can cover the whole thing with masking tape. You know me and my tape, I love to do things like that. But maybe I will maybe I'll decorate it a little bit. So depending on the cardboard, you might be able to jazz it up a little bit. I'm gonna put stripes on mine. And I'm gonna write MSB on there. That stands for my sketchbook. So I can draw things in here if I want to. I can write things that I'm grateful for in here, like love, which I am grateful for. I could draw wishes in here. Let's see if you can guess what this is. If an artist could have something, what would they want? That look like a paintbrush? That's a little bit of a janky paintbrush, but I'll make a drip. I'll make a drippy paintbrush. Kind of looks like a fountain pen. Anyway, there you have it. Super, super easy. So there you have it. Here's the one we made now. This is one I made before. This cardboard is from a cereal box. It was left over from the cardboard that I used for the bird's nest basket project. So that works really well. And I had a little bit of extra cardboard from a shoebox. That works too. There's all sorts of ways you can make covers. You just have to remember that the paper has to be a little bit smaller so that it fits inside the book. Alright? Alright, have fun making mini sketchbooks. See you next time. Bye.